here. I'm going to be your Jamberry nail consultant. I just wanted to share with you a couple great tips for applying your nails. I'm going to be using what's called the cold method, but I will say you want to check out the Jamberry's official video for applying the nails because they use what's called a warm method. The method I'll be showing you is just much easier for myself, so hopefully it'll help you ladies if you're having any trouble getting a great application. So let's just hop into it, and I'm going to share with you also a couple of great things to have on hand to help you get a great application. So the first is Jamberry's application kit, and it comes in this gorgeous plum bag. It's just great. It holds everything in it that you're going to need. It holds all your tools, your mini heater, and even your nails. So it's great for on the go or just to have on hand to keep everything in it. Now what's going to come with it are some great tools. So you're going to get a couple of orange sticks, orange cuticle pushers, and a purple fun rubber cuticle pusher, which is amazing. I love this. You're also going to get some great clippers and a crystal file, some other nail clippers, and a buffer as well. And then you're also going to get a couple of packets of the rubbing alcohol swabs. These are going to help cleanse your nails so you get a great application that way. You can also use just the bottle of rubbing alcohol or pure acetone nail polish remover as well works. And then another thing that I use that helps is using some kind of dish soap to wash your hands before. They have a component in it that helps take out all the extra oils and materials on your fingers. So that's great for getting an even better application. So let's just hop into this. We're going to be using a couple of different designs. This is pretty much everything that you're going to need during your application as what I just showed you. This is just my personal stuff. This is the mini heater we'll be using. And so what we're going to be doing is first you want to push back your cuticles, okay? You want to make sure you don't have any cuticle in the way, and sometimes what we have is called the invisible cuticle line, and that's just an extra layer of skin that sometimes hangs out on top of your nail. And you want to make sure that's gone, because if your nail wrap is resting on that, it's going to collect the oil from that as well. So I'm just going to push it back, and what I'm using is a metal cuticle pusher. You can really find this in any beauty store or section of department stores. You don't need it, but I like this one because it's got a curved tip to it, which works really well for my curved nails. So I like having that. And then I'm going to go ahead and use some alcohol, rubbing alcohol, to cleanse my fingernail. Now that I've pushed the cuticle back, we're just going to make sure both of those are really nice and clean. And I'm going to show you how to apply to both your left and right hand, just for the purpose of knowing that you can do it with either hand. It just takes a little bit of learning if you're not left-handed or right-handed for the other hand, but I promise you it is possible. So we're going to go ahead and use this design, and what you do is you use the clear backing to help you size to your finger. And I've done mine so many times I already know which size I need, but if you're new at it, you just want to err on the side of it being too small rather than too big, because again, if it's on your if it's on any of your skin or your cuticles, it's going to collect that oil and it's not going to be a great application for you. So we're going to go ahead and just take a look at this, and then what you want to do is take another look at it. I've already used the one that I need, so I'm going to the other side here. And what you're going to do is you're going to use your cuticle pusher and just grab it with that, because you don't want to use your fingers because they have oils on them. And I'm just, for the sake of time, just going to cut it in half. Sometimes you can get some in the middle that you don't need, and it'll be used for like an accent nail or your toes later on. But for right now, we're just going to do this. And I'm grabbing the end that I'm not using because I'm just going to file that off later. So now I've got it on my cuticle pusher, but I'm not going to heat it up yet. I'm just going to size it to my finger and make sure that it's the right size that I need. And it's almost perfect, but I just need to trim the corners off a little bit because my fingers aren't quite that rounded as what is given right here. And so I'm going to do this and just round off the corners a little bit. This part's a little tedious, but in the long run it's worth it because then you get that much of a better application and fit for your finger. So what I'm doing here is I'm using the stick to just place it on my finger. It's not stuck there, it's just laid there. So now I can kind of look and see if it's going to be in the right spot. If it's not, then I can just pick it up and move it around. And that's what I love about this cold application, because it's not adhesive yet to my finger. So I'm allowed to move it around without damaging my nail bed. Whereas with the hot method, where it's already heated, once it's on your nail, it is on there until it's not, okay? And you don't want to rip it off, okay? So I've just positioned it where I need it. I'm going to turn my heater on. That's as loud as this guy gets. It's so much easier than using a hair dryer or some other heat source because it's hands-free, it's quiet, and it's a nice concentrated way of heat instead of it just going everywhere. So this is great. And I'm heating this up for about 5 to 6 seconds until this starts getting kind of floppy. Well, it already is. And then I'm going to just pull the end of it just so slightly, so that it's all the way to the tip, and I'm ensuring that there's no bubbles in there. I haven't pushed the sides down yet, and that's what I'm going to use this for. This is my little cuticle pusher. Move that out of the way. And I'm just going to go down each side, making sure I'm not getting any bubbles on the way. And I'm pushing out, down and out, okay? Because I want to make sure that I'm pushing all the bubbles down and out. Okay, and go all the way to the tip and all the way to the outside, back up to the cuticle line, and then I put it back in front of the heat for a second. And with this, I'm pulling on the tip. And the reason I do that is because I want to make sure I get all those bubbles out. And I go back over with my magic little cuticle pusher. And we'll show you real quick. Another nice thing about this one, this metal cuticle pusher, is that you could put it in front of the heat for just a couple of seconds and it starts to act like a little metal cuticle pusher iron. And so that kind of creases out all the bubbles, because then after it's heated, you can just take it and press it on like this, and any bubbles that you missed are now gone, okay? So I didn't have any to really show you, but that's what that would be used for if you had any problem creases or bubbles that just weren't going away. So heat and pressure are going to be your best friend. If you keep playing with it, you just want to keep applying pressure and making sure that it's well adhered there. So now what you need to do is just make sure that it's all pushed down and let it cool off before you do anything else with it. So that's when I would go to my next finger that I'm going to show you. And I already cleaned it, but I'm going to use my little thing again with the alcohol, rub on it, and just clean that finger one more time. I'm going to take my cuticle pusher and grab the other end from my other finger. I'm just going to hold it up like I did before and kind of size it to see if it needs to be cut and trimmed. And get the other stuff stuck on there. So you'll get used to trimming these as you do more applications. There's another way that you can size them nicely and easy with Scotch tape. You just put the Scotch tape on your finger and trace it, and then go from there to size it to the right nail wrap. I am using my left hand right now, which I am not left-handed. So you might not be able to see everything that I'm doing, but we're getting there. Okay. This guy's being kind of feisty, so I'm going to take it off of there because I know that I'm going to trim off the end that I'm using to touch. So it's okay to do it like this if you need to. Okay, so I just got it placed on there. So now I can move it around and see where I need to put it. And again, that's why I love this method, because you can move it around to get a straight application. And then once I think I've got it, I put it back in front of the heat for 5 to 6 seconds. It starts to get all floppy like that. That means that it's ready. So then I can pull it straight down the middle, and then I look at it and I take my magic little cuticle pusher and I do down and out. Okay? And you're applying pressure while you're doing this so that you're getting all those bubbles out. I go down and out on this side. Again, I've been doing this for a couple months and it's still kind of hard for me to do my left hand for applying. But you get it done, and that's why this method is so much easier for me, because I can mess up and fix it. So we've done the down and out, and you see how much extra is left on that finger? If I don't, there we go. I could have left some of this on the sheet before heating it up and had that left over, but like I said, for the sake of just showing you how to do it, this is how we did it. So I see that I have a little bubble in the corner, so I'm just pushing it down until it goes away. This thing is all about heat and pressure, okay ladies? So if you see that you have stuff going on, you just apply more heat and apply more pressure and you should be good. Okay, so this one's cooled off quite a bit, so we're gonna go ahead and take our trimmers and just cut off the excess. Okay. Let it cool off again. And if you need to, just keep applying pressure on it. Okay. Okay. Now what I do is I use just a regular file. You go at a downward motion only at a 90-degree angle or a 45-degree angle. So 90 degrees or 45, depending on what your own preference is. I do 45 typically because then there's a less chance for it to snag on stuff when you start grabbing at things. But a lot of people just do it at the 90-degree angle and they're fine. So it's whatever works out for you. But you see how there's a little bit coming off there? You're not trimming your nail, you're trimming off the actual wrap itself. So that's what's coming off, and it just flew off somewhere. And then I go back over it with a glass file. I love glass files because they give such a smooth finish. Again, you can find a glass file in any kind of beauty department, mostly. I've gotten mine off the line as well, so whatever works. But I love a glass file just for a smooth finish. And so then that one's done. Now, whenever you mess with a nail, you always want to reapply some heat. Just make sure you haven't aggravated the adhesion that's on the nail. You want to make sure that you're not causing it to lift or anything like that, and applying pressure again. So that one's done. We're going to go ahead and finish this other hand. Okay, so we got all that, and then I put it back in front of the heat just for a couple of seconds, apply some more heat. Now you could be done right there. Some people use the baggie method, where you take a plastic bag, you wrap your finger, and you put it in front of the heat. And what this does is it gives you a nice, even distributed heat over your nail wrap. So then it's giving you an even better finish on the tip of your nails, okay? I don't use this method all the time for myself. It's just sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. So you find what works for you, and there you have it, okay, ladies?